That's
Hi, Andy. Okay, we have one muted Andy. All right. So, all right. Well, welcome to the demo day on 12th March 2021 for SmokeSignal. Guys, I am ultra excited. I'm really like super psyched. The site looks phenomenally much better. It really like I've checked it out now on my phone. I've checked it out on the website. If you haven't been there in a while, who did we just lose? Oh, okay, he's probably going to reconnect now. If you haven't been there in a while, please go check it out. It's looking absolutely A-class now. Yeah, Ronan and V for Visuals I've only really, to my knowledge, been tweaking it the last 3-4 days, because I remember looking at it earlier this week. And I must say, guys, the improvements are crazy good. It's really like it's starting to look like a real top tier site now. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, so Ronan has a whole set of changes that he is going to demo. Some of them might be a little bit subtle. The one I was the most excited about was the faucet. Crypto and Ronan built a faucet for us. So in other words, if you now go to SmokeSignal and you connect, we just gift you the little bit of dust that you need to be able to post onto xDAI through that. But everything else on the thing between the mobile and the actual site now has me more excited. So yeah, any notes from your side, Logan, that you want to cover before Ronan gets into it?
no, not really. I'm excited. I just took a 2-week vacation, so it's really cool to come back and see all the progress that's been going on. That's just nice from a personal vantage point. After having you and I worked on this over a year, mostly just me and you, as far as the actual legwork. So it's really cool to have something like an engine of productivity here that has a bit of an autopilot to it. So that's just like my own personal sort of exciting thing coming back to see this. And yeah, I agree. It's I think just this week is when we really started picking up with the visual improvements, where the sort of the more urgent tasks are taken care of, to the point where we can now change. It makes sense to focus on changing the font and tweaking things visually just to make it look better. The last piece of which was the post page. So yeah, I'll shut up now, but I'm excited for the demo.
Yeah. By the way, that reminds me, Ronan, if we have any time left at the end, just ask me again about the indexing system, and we can maybe just discuss that and give people some insight into what we could be doing there. All right, but Ronan, then over to you, my man.
I will. Can I get the permissions to share? Oh, here we go. Cool. Yeah, I'll just do a bit of a walk around. A lot of UI upgrades this week. The post page was on the to-do list for ages. So we've got a little bit of a fade here just added today, just to indicate that there is more text available on these.
I can see nothing, unfortunately.
I hope this isn't a Linux problem.
Black screen with a pointer.
Yeah, I also see the pointer.
All right, I'll just
yeah, we can see that.
Okay, yeah, I won't be able to show my MetaMask balance then. Okay, so here's the app. So just been a lot of UI changes, got like nicer badges now for xDAI and Ethereum, got some a new font, got the new post page, which I think is looking quite nice. I really like, I want the posts to look great. Like I want to be reading long form things to be a pleasant experience. We've got, now you can tip and burn on the post page. So on Ethereum, switch to xDAI. Yeah, so you can now tip and burn. All of that's going to be much easier. Now, so we do have the faucet here as well. So if you click on this, you will be sent xDAI by our very newly and awesomely implemented xDAI faucet. I don't think that will actually send any to me because my IP address has already been used. But that should, if you try that, you will be sent 0.001 xDAI pretty immediately, and we'll be increasing that, I'd say, as we get more confident with it. It's not, I'll have a look at mobile as well. It was getting some, there we go. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good on mobile too. Yeah, post page.
Just around on that menu that you've included at the bottom there. That's actually like, I'm quite enjoying that as well.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Have we tested this with Trust Wallet or MetaMask's wallet yet, or is this just purely like a read-only mode thing still at the moment?
No, there's no reason this shouldn't work with all of the Android and iOS wallets.
Yeah, typically when we build for mobile, it's mostly UX changes because Trust Wallet seems to kind of work automatically with it. The Web3.
Has Trust Wallet worked with xDAI, by the way?
Good question. I'm not sure.
I think they're fine. Yeah, if you can get onto the xDAI chain on whatever wallet you're using, the app should work fine with it.
Yeah, my question is actually more to the, I mean, if we click the little xDAI button and, you know, and those calls go out to add the xDAI chain to your wallet, that's more like my question, if that whole experience works.
I think that's a different API. I think that each wallet does it in a different way. I think maybe the MetaMask wallet might respond to that, but it depends on the wallet. I'll need to confirm whether the import xDAI functionality works the same on mobile. I can only confirm that it works on desktop browsers for now.
Okay.
But it's quite like at least on I think Status Wallet or Trust Wallet, it's pretty easy to add xDAI. It's like just a button press. Like you just search for the token and add the chain.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's very cool. That's super cool. I mean, I'm just getting so confident as to, I mean, I don't think this video actually does it justice. I mean, anybody looking at this demo, like, please just go to the site and try it. It's amazing, really, especially on the desktop. It looks incredible. That faucet is so seamless. I mean, if you just click if you want to make a post, just click the faucet. I mean, we give you enough we give you like almost no xDAI, but xDAI is so cheap, you can probably make like 50 posts with that. Yeah, I just made that little post about Jack and Jill there on the love story part. Yeah, it's really getting there. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and just a note on that, if you do want to check this out, depending on when you're looking at this video, we update the .eth link more infrequently, so that's like the stable version. And right now we're on another live page, but it's the demo page. So if you just want to go back and, well, you can see the URL. Well, not anymore because the screen sharing is done. Anyway, there's two different URLs. The SmokeSignal.eth.link will be the stable one. And for example, right now that link does not include the faucet yet, but that we'll probably roll that in as soon as Ronan has that finalized, maybe today sometime, I would guess.
Yeah, I'd like if we could be updating the ETH domain like once a day. I think that does that cost money though? Does that cost an ETH transaction to deploy or?
Yeah, but it's not so bad. It's $8 or $4, which is it's not bad for Ethereum these days. So yeah, I'm not sure if every day I'd really. At this point, I've gotten into the bad habit of not even paying it, like not even really thinking about how expensive it is until it gets into the double and triple digits. I don't really want to think about how much Ether I've been spending, which is maybe a bad financial move, but.
I think we shouldn't think about it unless it's double digits. Just deploy.
Yeah.
Where we are now, for the feedback we're getting now, I mean, Yeah, I'd say we just deploy it. So part of the reason for specific, well, part of the goals for actually last week, but it's gone into this week now, is for the community to tell us whether or not they think we should approach Chico with the thing now. Yeah, I'd basically say that my personal take is that we need to do another we need to do another run. We have somebody who did a previous run for us, and that's where the faucet stuff came out. I think we need somebody to do an actual run on the thing, like just internally. But yeah, just for the people in the call, where do you think we are? I think we're very, very close. I think that just the jump it took from 2 weeks to now, just in how it feels, is incredible to me. I'm becoming a little bit elated here. So yeah, so I think we're incredibly close. I think we should do just maybe one sanity check still and then go to Chico. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and if I could maybe refine the question, is it ready for Chico now? And if not, what's the most crucial issue?
I really like an information page where we can really have like an idiot proof, or like everything, like how to import xDAI, the faucet, what SmokeSignal does. Like I think I'd like an FAQ. I've spoke to both of you about this, I think. So yeah, that's the main thing for me before we start really pushing it out to the public. But from a features perspective, I'm very happy with it at the moment.
Okay.
Well, what we could do is we could basically make videos. Yeah, I think if we
those would all be embedded and linked on the FAQ page. Actually, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I also was thinking like embedded videos. The only thing there's a little bit of a I think we're going to iterate over it as we see people use the thing basically. That might affect the re-recording of videos. But I mean, at this stage, I think it's worth it. Yeah, so in other words, you think an FAQ page is something we definitely need? I agree with you. I think we should build an FAQ page. Do you think we should have that as like a special purpose SmokeSignal post, or should we build it into the app with like a collapsible thing, or what do you think there?
I was thinking in the nav bar, just having like a question mark icon or an about link that just takes you to a page that just has like drop downs that just what is SmokeSignal, what can I use to pay for posts, because I think you see all the dollar amounts, and that could be quite scary, so explaining to people things like you can essentially post for free if you're using xDAI, and in fact we'll give you some free stuff, would be just make it like a really idiot proof mainstream information dump. I actually really like the Foundry DAO FAQ section. That was, I found that to be very just easy to handle. Whereas I think, here we've got like modals and we've got like little text boxes, and we've got like the xDAI description is in one of our posts, which is great for dog fooding purposes, but it's quite the information on how this app works is quite disparate at the moment, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I would lean in that direction too. I'm still agnostic in terms of whether to go after Chico crypto right now or do that first. But if we're gonna do anything, that's where I would want to go too. So I'm just mindful of time. I see we have an Andy and an iPhone in here. If you guys want to throw in your own opinions, you can send a chat if you don't want to reveal your identity. So yeah, if you guys want to share anything. We just got Quadrilog in here too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can chime in. I don't really have anything particular at the moment. I'm sort of more of a recent, I've got a more recent interest in the project, but yeah, I think it looks very interesting. I've sort of recently joined your Telegram group as well. So yeah, no, I think you guys are doing a great job. I liked the sort of call to arms with the community engagement. So I agree. I'll probably need to start looking at actually making my first post. But no, other than that,
please do. Yeah, and for anyone watching, I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, that's it. Yeah, just I'll probably start to pick up more of an interest and keep my finger on the pulse.
Cool. Yeah, and just a reminder, I think we've said it elsewhere, but I mean, any post that's halfway decent, I'm gonna be going through and tipping things. So especially in the early days, it will be easy to make money on on SmokeSignal, even if it's a tiny bit, you know. So look forward to that. And if you don't see a post tipped and it looks interesting, it's probably because it's one of us and we feel bad about pumping our own numbers. So yeah. Quadrilog, so the question is just to get you up to speed. Do you think SmokeSignal is ready to sort of push Chico Crypto, or is there, if not, is there something that you think is crucial to get done first? I know you didn't really see the demo day, but we have an xDAI faucet and a button to switch to xDAI. So we've eliminated a lot of the barrier to entry related to xDAI. But then what Ronan's pointed out, and I think Scott and I agreed on, is that there's still a huge informational barrier. So you get to SmokeSignal, it's kind of confusing for a new user. So we'd like a better new user modal or page or something that explains it all. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on that? And feel free to speak or put something in the chat if you want.
iPhone, or if you have questions.
No questions from me. I really like what you guys are doing, seconding the other guy. And far as from my point of view, I mean, I'm not sure what you guys are working on that isn't technically ready now, but nevertheless, like, I'm very excited to see what happens when, you know, we get Chico Crypto involved, and I would really like to see we get some more of like the crypto Twitter community involved, like you know, like Pepe or Hero Hero BTC or Hero Crypto, you know, any of those guys. You know, they bring a lot of exposure to a really good community, which is crypto Twitter. And I think that we should maybe, as well as do the Chico Crypto, which would be a YouTube presence, I think we should try to get Twitter as well.
Yeah, we want to, like, we're definitely going to hit Twitter. Yeah, I spoke to somebody about some focused marketing this week as well. Somebody I've worked with before. He did say that like part of the, obviously always the issue is that the only places you can really push crypto is sort of like through organic YouTube and Twitter. That's the only place you can massively push it. Twitter is the only one where you can still sort of get away if you do it correctly with sort of like paid for ads. And then yes, the influencers are obviously we have two guys that are very they're very what's the correct English word for that? They're very you know, they're definitely fans of us, who helped us out quite a bit before, Fonship and Macro CRG, you know, and I definitely think we can sort of like reapproach them. Yeah, we'll make a point of reaching out to those guys, but I think sometimes their signal to noise ratio is a little bit high. So if you have any reliable way for us to actually chat to them, that'd be awesome.
Well, I have a couple thoughts on that, and then I'll just speak for Quadrilog, put something in the chat. But the one thought is, you know, we're sort of agonizing over when to go for Chico Crypto, but the Twitter, approaching Twitter could be a nice middle ground. So we could start putting videos up on Twitter, and that's sort of the other thought is, now that we have an app that's really ready to some degree for prime time, we can start putting that out on Twitter, and that could get a lot more traction than our typical Twitter stuff. So those are the two thoughts. I mean, we have something to, you know, something quite meaty to put out on Twitter, and then we can go after Twitter right now without sort of using the bullet in the chamber that is Chico Crypto. So that's what I would say there. And then Quadrilog just put in the chat that he experienced that the first time, actually, which I think is referring to the just being confused about the app, posted in the wrong place initially. So that also sort of indirectly supports the need for a new user informational thing. So yeah, so it feels to me like then if I could summarize and jump in if you guys think I'm off here, but basically that. We can justify certainly one more week getting a new user informational, making it easier to inform new users of what exactly is going on. before going to Chico Crypto. But then in the meantime, maybe we could just start throwing some stuff out on Twitter and experimenting in that regard. And that also works out now that I'm back from vacation. You know, either I or Scott can be heading that Twitter campaign and just take it maybe experimentally. I mean, again, if we have infinite bullets in the chamber as far as Twitter goes. So yeah, that's all the thoughts I have. Anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, I just thinking somebody else we are well, we obviously like a lot as well, and who's a very reachable person is Igor. I do think that SmokeSignal is now arguably one of the coolest things on xDAI. So we definitely reach out to them to
Yeah, great point.
Dap lists and tweet us out a bit.
There's also the indexing as well. I'm not sure if you want to record that or not.
Oh yeah, so basically one of the one of the next problems we're going to face soon. I mean, you can just answer it here. I think we are so open that, quite frankly, you know, there's no point in you know, having we are going to have a private discussion about it as well. But I sort of like my idea at the moment is to take the posts that we have and we actually build a method to index them. Right. So in other words, where currently we basically get a transaction log, and in the app we rebuild the tree of commenting, basically, which is pretty heavy on the poor browser, I think. You know, and there's some limit to that. My question for you, Ronan, is when do you think we'll hit a real performance limit with that? At what level of post before we need to address that through something more intelligent?
In terms of navigation being smooth, we can handle it for quite a while just using pagination, like which I've already added to the main feed. But that at some point, like, we might need to add that to the topics as well. Like, for instance, the default topic can be quite sluggish on mobile. One of the issues is that each comment that gets pulled in by our sentries gets an accounting request as well immediately after. So like, there's pretty much 2 network requests for every post, or at least there's one for every block, and then there's like there's a request to the smart contract, I think, for every post. So if we've got like 300 posts or 1,000 posts, that's a lot of HTTP requests going out. So it's really just a matter of what we want to accept. Like, we might need to throttle them as well. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have no idea how difficult the solution will be. Like if we could get an indexing solution done in a week, I think we should start as soon as possible. But if it'll take like 6 months, maybe we could focus on front end mitigation.
Yeah. So sorry, iPhone had his hand up. I think iPhone wants to say something.
Oh, okay.
Over to you.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was just chatting in the chat we have here. But
Okay.
yeah, I was just saying, if Macro CRG, you know, he tweets about, you know, projects that he believes in, etc. If we got that, if Fry became one of those, like he tweets about RFI maybe, like, I don't know, probably 5 times a week. If we were anything close to that, you know, his engagement on Twitter, I mean, he's very well known in crypto Twitter. I think that's really all we need, you know, apart from Chico Crypto. Like, he would get everybody on crypto Twitter that matters, that's around, you know, to be aware of Fry, and that's what we want, right?
Yeah, so I am in contact with Macro as well, and part of the thing is just our sale introduces quite a bit of inflation over a relatively small amount of liquidity at this stage. So part of what I tried to do this week, I think we more than doubled the liquidity now, but I am going to try and this is another thing we need to, and well, I suppose just mention here as well, is that so we've now I just lost Logan. So we've basically got, we sort of like reached internal consensus that will be spending the money above keeping the lights running to acquire liquidity that the DAO owns. So basically, we're trying to extend that amount of liquidity considerably. But the thing is, I mean, I have spoken to Macro, and his argument is just he doesn't quite want to push the thing whilst the inflation is still at this higher level. I do think that once we have like 1 or 2 live projects out, you know, and something like SmokeSignal has traction, then I do think that changes things again. Then the demand becomes significantly higher maybe than the daily inflation. So so that is kind of like where we're at there at the moment. Just to quickly jump back to Ronan's previous question on the indexing, Ronan, I'm not 100% sure, because the thing is, it depends on what would be possible with the depends on what would be possible in the client itself in terms of being able to read a large index. You know, if we can find clever ways for it to deal with a large IPFS file without having to retrieve the entire thing, then we might not need like our own little SmokeSignal nodes. Otherwise, my thinking is, you know, we build little nodes that actually construct and maintain these indexes, and then we have some way to say that this index was provably correctly constructed from the set of transactions on SmokeSignal. But that I think we can cross that bridge when we get there.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else from anyone? Any other questions or suggestions or feedback or something? I am still busy with the death contract at the moment. That's going a little bit more frustratingly than I had hoped for. I think, okay, so at this point, basically, we're at an internal review point. Logan has that scheduled for Monday, that he's going to do the internal review. If him and I are both happy with the internal review, we'll send it out to the auditor. And then it's probably going to be about 2 weeks from that point before we can go live. Now, I know this is death at the moment is sort of like in the 2 weeks trademark phase of software, but I do think the smart contract's working. Yeah, on my side, basically, I'm setting up a bunch of local testing things that is fairly embedded inside of the rest of the DeFi ecosystem. So some of that stuff is a little bit, what's the word, intimidating to me to, you know, to get to, and we do want to get this right. We don't want like $100 million worth of ether inside of that contract, and then, you know, it explodes on us. But I think what I'll do there is, I think I'll actually start giving I'll start giving like a daily feedback session. I think I'll do a little daily vlog as well on the death contract, and just start posting those in the Telegram. Any other questions? Okay, looks like that's it. All right, chat to you guys soon. Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Great progress. Thanks, Ronan. Cheers, everyone.